Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Do you like fantasy?
Fuck this shit! We came in this fucking room and everything went fucking bad.
Well, what about knights? What about bashing in skulls and basking in the blood of your enemies while looking like a complete badass? What's that you say? Yes. Well then, you might need therapy, but we've also found the perfect game for you. Donald Trump's Real Estate Tycoon from 2002. Oh, wait, no, that's a different video. Sorry. The game for you is Infernax. Today we'll be talking about Infernax, so make sure your helmets are on tight, because this game is a beast. Infernax was developed by Berserk Studio and was released on February 14th, 2022 for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. Infernax actually started out as a Flash game in the early 2010s, and the devs were able to make it into a fully fledged game, having it retain much of its early charm from its Flash days. I actually played Infernax through. So, in between episodes of Squid Game, I'm kicking some ass. Infernax is a 2D Metroidvania type game where you run around and gain special spells and use your mace to bash enemies in the land of Yupel. I actually really enjoyed this game, and I played through to every ending. So I may be a little biased when I speak about this game, but I just had so much fun playing through it again and again. You play as the young Duke Alcidor, or whatever you choose to name him, and he's returning home to the land of Yupel after the Crusades. However, in his homeland of Yupel, somebody brought back the Necronomicon, this guy named Robert. What a looker. And the Necronomicon is this demon book that, summons monsters, it's evil, you get it, the works. And Robert is the head of this mysterious cult trying to take over the land. And their main opponents are Father Henry and his band of knights. So you can kind of guess who's supposed to be good, who's supposed to be bad. But you could take this story in whatever direction you please. You could be evil, good, or a little bit of both. Now, one of the endings of the game is actually you killing the initial zombie and just turning back and getting the fuck out of there. If you choose to actually play the game, you venture on until you reach your home village and find it under attack from some monsters. After successfully fending off this attack, the game truly starts, and you're able to play the game however you want. Whether you want to save the land or bring it under your heel, it's yours to choose. I will say that if you go for the evil ending, you get this sick-ass sword. Although you do sacrifice your shield, but come on, it's a big-ass fucking sword. Speaking of the evil ending, this game has a simple morality system. You do good things, good morality. Bad things give you bad morality. For example, you can use a holy spell on this zombified man to cure him and reunite him with his wife. So wholesome. Alternatively, you can use your evil spell on the man and turn him into a demon where he goes and devours his wife in their own home. So yeah, guess which one gives you positive morality? However, a lot of these choices aren't just what you choose to do gameplay-wise, but there are these epic moments where you need to choose between two options that are going to determine the route that your character's story goes down and what quests are available to you. Sometimes, the choices are tough. It's not really clear what's going to happen, but it seems very important. But sometimes, it's like, dude, get the fuck away from me and take a shower, holy shit. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, this is an evil decision. So you choose it, expecting some, basic evil action, but then your character just goes and commits the most atrocious acts you've ever seen. Now fuck Hans though, he deserved that shit. Anyway, the game has 9 endings, and this is by far my favorite aspect of the game. It's so much fun to try and get every ending, even the silly ones. So let's go through them all. Spoilers ahead, by the way. First, we have the Martyr ending. This results from having a positive moral score and defeating the final boss without the Necronomicon. Reminder, the Necronomicon is this evil book that caused the monsters to appear in Yupel in the first place, and you're able to find it. But if you don't, and you have a positive morality by the end of the game, and beat the final boss, your character actually dies from his injuries and lives on as a legend. Cool, I guess, but not really satisfying enough. Especially I went through this hard-ass fucking boss fight, Jesus. Second, we have the Wretch ending, which is the exact same as the Martyr ending, except you have a negative morality by the end of the game, which causes Alcidor to become a little basement dweller, forced to spend the rest of his days playing League of Legends in a cave. Third, we have the Redemption ending, which was the most annoying for me to complete, honestly. You have to start down the evil path until you finish a specific quest called the First Summoning Quest, and then you do a 180-degree turn and start going down the good path, and then defeat the final boss without the Necronomicon. Imagine being a villager in this game, and the guy who just burned down the entire village comes back and is just like,
"Oh shit, I'm sorry."
It was just annoying to keep track of my morality for this ending, and it was the last one I completed because of how long I knew it would take. Fourth, we've got the previously mentioned ending where you just peace out after the first enemy, and it's called The Path of the Coward. You get this beautiful picture of Alcidor to go with it. Just, chef's kiss right there. Honestly, not much more to say. It's just hilarious that this is an option from the get-go. Fifth, it's my personal favorite ending, The Path of Drowsiness. Okay, so for this ending, you need to go into an inn and sleep for 5 whole days in a row until your character just decides to sleep through the entire game, and you get this cute little Mario reference. The innkeeper even has different dialogue when you start sleeping too much, like, is this little shit actually sleeping through the end of the world right now? 6 and 7 kind of go together. You have the Path of Submission and the Path of Evil, both of which require having the Necronomicon. Yeah, Alcidor becomes a submissive bottom in this ending. No, the Path of Submission is when you follow the evil ending, and once you kill the priest, Father Henry, you have the option to either kneel before Robert or kill him. You get the Path of Submission if you kneel for Robert, or if you choose to paint the walls with Robert's face. Holy shit. You go on a fucking rampage and become a flying demon throwing fireballs at eldritch horrors in hell. Yeah, it ramps up fast. And Alcidor actually goes out and gets some bitches, unlike the Wretch ending. The 8th ending is the Path of Righteousness, which is pretty cut and dry. You go through the whole game with positive morality, get the Necronomicon, and go defeat the final boss in hell. Which is, interesting. It's a big-ass demon goat with massive tits. I don't think I can even show this. It's just bare tits on a goat. It's fucking sick. The 9th and final ending is probably the most unique out of all of them, and it's called the Path of the Future. You need to have at least 95% of all the game discovered and completed to go forth with this ending. So you can just be going down any path and trigger this ending, good or evil, and you have to find this dude named Gregor. Gregor's a weird old guy living in an underground church and just hacking away at himself with a pickaxe for his sins or something. I don't know, sounds like a masochist to me. A little kinky. So you find Gregor and he prepares a portal for you to go to the future and shred some demons with a fucking machine gun and motorcycle. That is so metal, and I'm so here for it. I love that when you get the gun, it plays the same music as when you get the sword for the evil ending. They're both sick-ass weapons. It just gets your blood pumping and gives you a little semi-chub. But was that just me?
And then once you actually defeat the final boss, Alcidor just goes fucking ape shit. Like, you cannot tell me that this man isn't having the time of his life right now. I mean, one thing's for sure, though. He's literally me.
Well, those are all the endings, which are definitely the most fun I had with the game. When it comes to combat, this game is pretty simple, but definitely fun. Unless you're fighting the final boss. That was so much fun the 20th time. I think I just suck ass. Speaking of bosses, their designs, can we talk about their designs? Why is there an obsession with nipples and assholes? I mean, for Christ's sakes, this guy literally has nipple eyes. Nipple eyes. I don't want to know what that feels like. What, when he cries, is he also lactating? Like, what the fuck? Why does the first boss of the game have a giant fucking asshole on his stomach? Oh shit, sorry. And let me remind you of the goat. Yeah, couldn't let you forget that one. There's also some cool Easter eggs that come from the character creation. You can name your character several unique names that give you a completely different character to play as. There's Swordsador, which just gives you the sword right from the get-go, and you can even play the good ending with the sword. Actually, if you go for the bad ending with this character, when Robert tries to give you the sword, he just sees you already have one and compliments it. Like, you know, game recognizes game. There's Axador, which lets you start with an axe. Pretty simple. There's Gardakin, which lets you fight with magic, and you have a whole mana system. Very interesting, but I didn't really play with him. I wasn't too interested in magic. There's Locke, which just gives you a pint-sized Alcedor. This is actually the YouTube name of one of the main devs on the game, actually, which I think is pretty cool.
Penis, love.
There's also Kajatzel, which just makes Alcedor talk like a fucking moron. There's also Maxime Gun, which just gives you the rifle right from the start of the game, which is sick as fuck. Finally, there's the Stranger. And this one is sick, because you get to play as none other than Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th franchise. I mean, I guess it's unofficially him, but it looks like him. Complete with a bat and a shotgun. So badass. There's also a multiplayer mode that adds Serval, Alcedor's squire that throws axes, but I didn't have any experience with this because I have no friends. No, it's actually because I played on... The Netflix version of Infernax doesn't have multiplayer, unfortunately. So now what's my opinion of the game? Well, I'm sure you could tell, and I touched upon it earlier, but I love this game. It's a very simple Metroidvania side-scroller, and it's just a blast to play. From the music, which is awesome, by the way. I've been playing it in the background of this video. It's great. And I actually just found out that the composers of the game are actually characters in the game as well. They're bards, like they're playing music in the villages, which is super cool. To the characters, to the gameplay, to the wife-devouring demons in the game. That was great to watch. I had a great time playing. I definitely revisit this game in the future and try to beat it again for any random ending. When it comes to public reception of the game, it also does fairly well. It has a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam, and Metacritic rated it 84 out of 100. Users gave it 7.7 out of 10, which is way too close to another game. Unfortunately, the game is not enjoyed by Procodio on Metacritic. Didn't seem to reach its high standards. Jesus, dude, every game is a 0? How are you gonna call Mega Man overrated when it's half of your reviews? It's probably just a rage bot. Anyway, I liked Infernax. I loved Infernax, actually. And it got me interested in the Metroidvania genre. Because previously I thought I wouldn't even like it. You know, I'm not always a huge fan of side-scrollers, but hey, when you show me this, oh, I'm all in. Anyways, yeah. That's pretty much all I had to say about Infernax, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me talking about it. Speaking of that, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to bash that like button like it's Robert's face, and gingerly tap that subscribe button right after. Goodbye, and remember, you are out of this world.